So Blockchain Futurist Conference, day 2, spectacular day, interview number 20, and with none other than Michelle Rempel, Member of Parliament from Alberta on behalf of the Conservatives. Hi Michelle, how are you?
I'm great.
So what are you doing here?
You know, just looking at the scenery, I'm kidding. This conference has been great from the perspective of really talking about, I think, the future of the crypto asset industry, Web3, and as a legislator, it's a space I've really been interested in from the context of asking how government can help the sector grow, even if that means getting out of the way.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest question, right? I mean, regulation and policy, that's maybe the biggest hurdle that stands in between this sector anywhere around the world really blossoming. Why is it that in Alberta, it seems like the province has been really open, more open than other jurisdictions in Canada?
I'm so glad you asked about this. So, Canada writ large has a very strong natural resource-based economy, agriculture, which are important sectors. There's always a question about how can Canada diversify its economy?
Of course.
And in Alberta, that's a question that legislators take really seriously, particularly when it comes to asking, how do we build upon the success of the oil and gas industry? And I think that legislators, both the subnational or the provincial level in Alberta, as well as federal representatives like myself, we see, Web3 as a way to diversify and grow the economy. But, it's not just about economic growth. I really think that Web3 has the capacity to disrupt and change for the better a lot of different processes and systems. And Alberta's always been a place where that welcomes people who want to take risks, where, even if you take a risk and fail, it's seen as a badge of honor.
Kind of like in the States?
Yes, and, certainly I know that there's a desire on the part of legislators in Alberta, and I think a growing consensus, I would optimistically say at the federal level, to provide a positive environment for investment, growth, innovation, across a wide variety of Web3 applications. So this conference, I'm really glad to see it happen. Like the level of people that are here is really important. I have a bill in front of Parliament. It's the first bill that actually addresses Web3 in Canadian legislative history, and I'm leaving here really, I think, pumped and enthusiastic. And also, I've learned a lot too. So
you must have been welcomed warmly too, I guess.
Yeah,
it's a very warm and welcoming environment to begin with, I think.
It is, and I think that the community it is open by nature, because it's people that are here to innovate and think about how we can do things differently in a positive way. And it's sort of a rare environment sometimes.
Yeah. How do you see blockchain fitting into this, as you said, dominantly natural resource-based economy in Alberta? I guess you have the feedstock. That is one thing. Is there anything else? I mean, it's a very different industry, right?
That's such a broad question. Where to even start?
What are Alberta's advantages?
On a very high level, Alberta's strength in natural resource development has created a lot of wealth for the whole country. And it's also attracted a lot of talent. Web3, because the applications are sort of endless. Right. Like, where to even start on this question? I think how natural resource development has and could happen in Alberta, it creates a template for potential investment in other sectors. We have people, we have talent.
An appetite for business development, for risk, as you said.
Yes.
And tech is booming, by the way, in Alberta right now,
isn't
it? Let's talk about diversification then. What
exactly, and there's the provincial government, actually the industry minister, my friend and colleague Doug Schweitzer at the provincial level, this was an area, he's such a champion for Web3. He's actually, unfortunately, just announced he's not running again.
I interviewed him a few years ago. He's he's a young politician as well, which is nice.
Young and smart and gets it. But I think one of Doug's legacies in provincial politics will be the fact that he has been a champion for Web3 innovators and trying to make sure that the regulatory and competitiveness environment is one that is attractive for investment in Alberta. And I do think, to your point, we're already starting to see some of the fruits of that in investment in the province, and I would love to see that continue to grow. But I'd love to see it continue to grow across Canada. If Canada can't be a world leader in this space, what a missed opportunity. And that's why it's important for people like me to really ensure that that the discussion around government's role or lack of role in Web3 isn't one of political polarization and missed opportunity.
It's not a sector that should be political. I actually don't know that any sector should be political.
Yeah,
I've actually been told yesterday that at the federal level, I don't know if you know this, but that the federal government, without really communicating on it, has actually been informing quite a bit and for quite a few years on blockchain. So that's maybe a good news, because I mean, often governments are criticized for saying a lot and not doing a lot, and hopefully there's a little bit of the opposite happening. I mean, I don't know it more specifically than that. What has been your experience here? Are you enjoying it? Did you get here today or yesterday?
I got here last night, and I've been able to connect with a lot of people that I've been consulting with sort of virtually over the last couple of years on my bill. And it's just really exciting to see people back together. The conference has grown. There's a lot more international attendance as well this year.
But also a lot of Canadian representation.
Absolutely.
Right?
But I think, conferences like this being held in Canada, it is important for us as a country to put us on the map in this space. And I hope that there's a lot of deal flow and innovation that actually comes out of the networking that came here. I'm certainly leaving with some ideas on how to engage as a legislator in a productive way, and it's been very good.
Well, you have a powerhouse in Alberta called Colea Carrington, who's a personal friend and someone I've known for years. I don't know if you noticed, but I thought it would be a fun kind of subtle, branding
blockchain
consortium. I'm wearing the badge of the opening night.
Yes.
Do you want to give her a shout out or anything you could say about that?
CBC has done a great job, and there's a few other groups as well too, in just from my perspective, in bringing the community together to figure out how to talk to government. That's one small part of the thing, that their scope of work, but she's just done a wonderful job in bringing industry together to come up with some common narrative and purpose, and develop the industry in Canada and try to attract investment here. So shout out to her, and a lot of strong women in blockchain.
And shout out to, yes, that's very important. She also, I think, spearheads the Canadian Blockchain Association for Women.
Yes.
So that's very good too. Thank you
Pleasure.
for dropping by
Thanks
and
for
making the
having me.
time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.